Hi, we're the Fine Brothers.
Consider yourselves warned.
We're about to recap the entire story of Harry Potter.
The way the movies told it, not the books.
And not including what happens in the final film.
In one take.
In under 7 minutes.
Starting now.
It all began in 2001 when Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone arrived in theaters.
It was called the Philosopher's Stone in most of the world, but apparently Americans were too cool for
The
that.
film begins with Harry Potter as a baby being left at the doorstep of his aunt and uncle.
It then jumps to a very unhappy 11-year-old Harry who lives in a cupboard under the stairs being treated like a slave by his relatives.
Al will start delivering letters addressed to Harry from a wizarding school called Hogwarts.
His uncle won't let him read them, but a half-giant named Hagrid comes to tell Harry the truth.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So Harry leaves with a lovable loaf and finds out about Lord Voldemort.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. He who must not be named.
He who must not be named killed Harry's parents and tried to kill him, but Harry survived.
He's the only person to survive the killing curse, but it left him with a lightning bolt scar on his forehead, and it caused he who must not be named to be seemingly destroyed.
Harry hops on the train to attend Hogwarts and befriends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger.
Hermione has muggle parents.
What's a muggle?
Non-magic folk? Duh!
Once they get to Hogwarts, they're told about a talking hat that's going to sort them into one of 4 houses based on their personality.
Slytherin is the house of practically every evil wizard was sorted into when they were children.
Why do they allow an evil house to continue to exist?
We have no idea.
The sorting out places Harry, Ron, and Hermione into Gryffindor!
Long story short, Harry makes enemies with a Slytherin boy named Draco Malfoy and finds out there's a magical object called the Sorcerer's Stone that is being hidden in the school to protect it.
He thinks the creepy potions teacher Severus Snape is trying to steal it, but it turns out to be the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher Professor Quirrell, who is determined to hide the fact that he has He Who Must Not Be Named grafted onto the back of his head.
Dumbledore, the headmaster of the school, must have somehow missed that one when he hired him.
He Who Must Not Be Named.
You know what? That's getting really annoying. Let's just call him Voldemort from now on.
Voldemort tells Harry to join him, but he refuses.
Quirrell then tries to kill Potter, but starts to burn when he touches him, so Harry murders Quirrell with his bare hands.
Harry Potter, murderer at age 11.
Voldemort's spirit leaves and Harry is proclaimed a hero.
On to the second film.
Harry meets Dobby the house elf who doesn't want Harry going back to school because of bad things that will happen to him.
Harry refuses, so Dobby gets Harry in trouble, and his uncle forbids him to go back to school.
Ron and his brother show up in a flying car, bust him out, and head back to the wizarding world.
Back at Hogwarts, several students turn up petrified, kind of like turning into a statue.
The teachers reveal there's a legend about the castle having a chamber of secrets which has a monster inside that could be the cause of the attack.
Long story short, Harry meets the ghost of a student in a bathroom named Moaning Myrtle, finds a magical diary that belonged to a former student named Tom Riddle, finds out Myrtle was killed by a monster in that very same bathroom that he met her in, and discovers that the Chamber of Secrets is actually underneath that bathroom.
They searched for years but never thought to look there, we guess?
Inside the chamber, Harry finds Tom Riddle from the diary, as well as Ron's younger sister Ginny, who is dying and was being controlled by Tom throughout the movie with the intention of taking her life as his own.
Tom reveals that his full name, Tom Marvolo Riddle, is an anagram for Lord Voldemort.
Well, not exactly. Lord Voldemort doesn't work at all, but I am Lord Voldemort does.
Why didn't J.K. Rowling write a name that worked perfectly with the anagram, or have the middle name have extra letters to make Lord Voldemort work?
We have no idea.
Anyways, Riddle sends out the monster, a giant snake called a basilisk.
Harry wins with the help of Dumbledore's pet Phoenix Fox, brought the Sword of Gryffindor, which Harry uses to kill the basilisk, and then destroys Tom Riddle's diary with a basilisk's fang.
Harry Potter, murderer of 2 people, albeit one evil dude and one kind of ghost thing, but murderer nonetheless.
It's time for the third movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Harry finds out that a mass murderer named Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban prison, that he was the one who sold out his parents to Voldemort, and that he's Harry's godfather to boot.
At Hogwarts, we see Dumbledore, but it's a new actor because the first one died.
This one plays him very rough and angry for the first couple of films before getting over himself and playing the role properly.
Long story short, Harry learns to cast a spell that summons a Patronus that stops monsters called Dementors. Sirius is actually framed by Peter Pettigrew, who was disguising himself as Ron's pet rat Scabbers, but before they can clear Sirius's name, the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher Remus Lupin ruins everything by turning into a werewolf, which allows Pettigrew to get away and forces Sirius to go back into hiding.
They were able to do all this with the use of a time travel device called the Time Turner.
Why did they have them use the Time Turner to fix everything in this movie, but never have them use it again to fix all the crazy things that happen in future films?
We have no idea.
On to the fourth movie, The Goblet of Fire, where Hogwarts is holding a Triwizard Tournament.
There seems to only be 3 schools that matter in the whole wizarding world, and 1 student per school is chosen by the Goblet to be its representative in the tournament.
For some reason, the teachers let them have this insane tournament where students could actually die for no reason other than for sport.
Cedric Diggory is picked to compete for Hogwarts, but for the first time ever, the Goblet chose another student to compete from Hogwarts as well, even though he was too young to even enter.
Yup, Harry Potter.
Harry denies entering the tournament himself, and the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Mad-Eye Moody, has thoughts on the matter.
Every Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher storyline ends badly. I wonder where this is going.
He says there's no way Harry could have put his name in, and Dumbledore, on his way to being named the worst headmaster ever, allows Harry to compete.
Long story short, by the end of the tournament, it's down to Cedric and Harry, and they decide to make it a tie, but the trophy they both touch at the same time ends up being a portkey.
Portkey?
An object that teleports people to places. Duh!
And it brings them to a graveyard that Harry's been dreaming about, and out comes Peter Pettigrew with the gross fetal Lord Voldemort.
Voldemort orders Pettigrew to kill the spare, and Diggory is killed in front of Harry.
Then they use some of Harry's blood to bring Voldemort back to full form.
Why doesn't Voldemort have a nose yet in the first movie he did?
We have no idea.
Then Harry and Voldemort duel, and the ghosts of Harry's parents help him escape to tell everyone in Hogwarts the news.
He's back! He's back!
Oh, and Moody is captured after he finds out he was actually one of Voldemort's followers, a Death Eater, impersonating Moody.
Somehow Dumbledore also missed that one.
On to the fifth movie!
The Ministry of Magic don't believe that Voldemort is back and try to frame Potter and Dumbledore for being liars.
Dolores Umbridge is the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and you guessed it, she won't be for long.
She refuses to teach the kids how to defend themselves, so Harry starts a club to train students called Dumbledore's Army.
Cho Chang, Cedric's former girlfriend, ends up making out with Harry, and then she cries. It's awkward.
Cho rats the army out, though we find out she was forced to drink a truth serum and it wasn't her fault.
No matter, Harry never talks to her again for the rest of the entire movie series. Real stand-up guy.
Harry has a vision of of Sirius being tortured, so he and the gang, along with Ginny, Neville Longbottom, and Luna Lovegood, fly on Thestrals to save him.
Don't even ask what they are.
They walk into a trap where the Death Eaters fight them to find a prophecy that ends up establishing that Harry or Voldemort needs to kill the other in the end.
So much murder in Harry Potter.
Sirius and the others arrive to help the kids.
Sirius is killed and falls into this weird veil mirror thingy that is never explained in the movie, and a lot of people weren't even sure that he was killed.
Voldemort is spotted by the Minister of Magic, who finally believes that he's back, and that's the end of this pointless movie in the series.
Bring on the Half-Blood Prince!
Dumbledore uses Harry to lure a former Hogwarts professor who taught Voldemort named Slughorn to come back to teach, and Dumbledore tells Harry to let Slughorn collect him.
Yes, it's really creepy, and why is Dumbledore being trusted by Harry at this point?
We have no idea.
Long story short, Harry finds an old potions book which was owned by the Half-Blood Prince. He thinks Malfoy has joined Voldemort, and Slughorn reveals that what he taught young Voldemort is a Horcrux.
This is a way wizards can come back to life if they die. They have to murder someone, which allows wizards to attach a piece of their soul to an object, which turns into a Horcrux.
Why would they have information about this dark magic in a school library?
We have no idea.
Harry tells Dumbledore that Voldemort made 7 Horcruxes, and they determine 2 of them have already been destroyed.
Tom Riddle's diary from the second movie and a ring that Dumbledore destroyed at some point recently.
They set out together and find the 3rd Horcrux, a locket, and return to the castle where they hear someone coming, and Dumbledore tells Harry to go hide.
It's Malfoy, sent to kill Dumbledore.
Snape then shows up out of nowhere and kills Dumbledore himself, the biggest spoiler in the series to date.
They flee and Harry gives chase. Snape fights him off and reveals dramatically that he is the Half-Blood Prince.
But at this point in the movie, it's been so long since we even talked about the Half-Blood Prince that we don't even care.
Harry is left with the Horcrux that turns out to be a fake, but together with Hermione and Ron, they plan to go find and destroy the other Horcruxes to stop Voldemort.
That brings us to the 7th movie, Part 1.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione are on the run, off to find the Horcruxes, while Voldemort has taken over the Ministry of Magic and Hogwarts.
They spend most of the movie traveling and searching, not even sure what to do and where to go, because as usual, Dumbledore didn't really help Harry at all.
They do end up finding the real locket Horcrux, and Ron destroys it with a sword of Gryffindor that they find in a lake thanks to a Patronus taking the form of dough.
You forgot to mention Ron imagining naked Hermione making out with Harry before he did.
Murder and now sexual content. Harry Potter is appropriate for kids, right?
Later on, Luna Lovegood's dad teaches them about the 3 magical objects that make up the Deathly Hallows, and realizes Voldemort is after one of them, the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand on Earth.
Luna's dad rats them out, which ultimately leads to them getting captured, but they escape with the help of Dobby, now a free elf!
Why has Dobby never even been mentioned or seen again since movie 2, yet Ron and Hermione seem to be good friends with him, even though in the film version they never even met?
We have no idea.
Dobby saves the day, but as he disapparates everyone to safety, he is stabbed and dies.
The film ends with Voldemort figuring out Dumbledore had the Elder Wand, uncovering his grave and taking it from his dead corpse.
He raises it to the sky and gives out his famous yell, "Yeah!"
And that leaves us with one final chapter.
One final movie.
Will Harry and his friends find the other Horcruxes and stop Voldemort?
Who will live?
Who will die?
What parts of the movie will not be as good as the book?
We're all about to find out.
You are now fully caught up to watch Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 with your Potter friends and act as if you've seen every film.
Will you be at the movie's opening weekend?
We know we'll be! Of course, you could just read the book now. It'll definitely be better than the movie. Definitely.